Oh crap, I'm alive. What's up, everybody? I got this thing working. All right, so comments are right here to the left. Insert an emoji. What does this do?
It's really hard to believe sometimes we're gonna make it. Success, money, and power, all that, we're gonna get it. Don't try to be like us, it's better.
What's up, everybody? I'll give you guys a minute to come up with some questions and stuff. I have an important announcement today, and then we'll get some questions answered and then bring some value into your lives like always. All right, everybody. What's up, Adrian Brown? I see a couple of my paid students hopping on here. Awesome. Adrian Brown is here. I'm going to like all your comments too, guys. Boom, boom. By the way, if you guys want to hop on camera with me, that would be super cool. Get to meet some of you guys. All right, let's see. Hey, Alex, how are you, sir? Alex is the most recent student that joined the program. What's up, sir? Thank you so much for that long post testimonial, man. I was so happy when I read that. I thought that was awesome. I didn't even ask you to do that, so I really, really appreciate your kind words, sir. I'm happy that I'm adding value into your career. What's up, Kevin Gomez? How are you, sir? Another one of my students. Boom, like, comment, like, comment. I'll get to your questions in just 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to find out how to invite people. Yo, says Tony. Robert says, what up? What up, Robert? How are you, sir? Hello, Adrian. Robert, what comes to mind for a complex in downtown Austin that has studios for 1100? That's a really good question, man. I actually used to lease the two properties. Crap, what are they called now? It used to be Sabina and Uptown. You know those like UT campus, so it's not necessarily downtown, Robert, but it's like, what is that, like a mile and a half from downtown or 2 miles or so? Those would have really awesome deals on apartments. Sometimes you can get full, like over 700 square feet, one bedroom, one bath, 700 square feet for like $1,200 sometimes, or $1,250. In those two properties. And Uptown, was it Uptown or Sabina? Yeah, Uptown is where I leased 18 two-bedrooms. It was the first deal that I did, a vacation rental client. It's the first blanket lease I ever did. I think I was like 21 or 22 years old, but I did Uptown. I did 18 units for two bedrooms, and it was awesome, man. They had great incentives too. They were doing like 150% and a gift card, so it was awesome incentives. But I lease a lot in UT campus. Like if I'm ever trying to find, Robert, you know how everyone wants a good deal downtown, and like no one wants to pay market price, but they want to live downtown. So it's like it's like a common thing in Austin. So UT campus, you can lease a lot over there. And even in the Class B properties or the older properties that are renovated are very close to that UT campus area, and you can get really awesome rates. With a 2 mile commute. What's another example I can give you? There's a building called, it's like 34 something red something. Dang it, I forgot the name of the building. But I think it's a Lincoln Property Company. But they're older, but they're renovated, and they had really good rate. What the heck's it called? 34. I'll come back to that. So those are two good buildings to look at, and then I also lease a lot at Robert. I lease a lot at Midtown Commons. Is that, yeah, Midtown? You know how there's like two phases, like the older building and the newer building. Midtown Commons, which is in Central Austin. I know it's definitely not downtown. It's central, but it's just a few miles away, and you can get like incredible deals for 2 bedroom, 2 bath apartments. Because you know how downtown it's like $2,400 for two. Well, Midtown Commons, a lot of the times you can get really good market rents. I've seen them for like 1,600 one time, 1,700 for a 2-2. So I lease there a lot when I have clients that want to lease downtown, but they don't want to pay market rent. But as far as studios, for 1,100, yeah, I mean, you can't get a studio for 1,100 in Austin, man. Like if it's really downtown, like you just can't do that. You just got to tell your client to up their budget. But I hope my suggestions might help you a little bit. Let's continue on here. Alex, okay. Hi, Pierre. Smart Apartment Data is a great database with awesome features. Yeah, they're good. I wish their customer service was better though. Like I really have a problem with Smart's customer service. They're like, I swear they like don't know how business works in 2020. But I mean, it's a good database, so I use it. So credit where credit's due. So I like Smart Apartment Data as well. Apparently ALN is like the second leader too. So maybe look into that one to compare the two. I want to hear your opinions on both of those databases, but I have used Smart for the majority of my career. Database awesome features. There are a lot of newer buildings that aren't in their system though. Really? That's interesting. Hey, Alex, what market are you in? Smart is pretty good at doing that, and that's going to be if you're in a market like Austin, which is like super high construction. There's always land developments and construction happening in the city. It's really hard to get absolutely all of the buildings that are still in construction, but I've noticed that Smart does do a good job. Like for instance, Watermark, the building Watermark downtown while they were in construction, before they were even open, Smart picked up on that and captured it. And there's a few other examples that I could give you too. But I've noticed a lot that Smart will try to import the properties into the system, and then for the pictures, there's no pictures because there's no on-site staff, so they'll say like pictures coming soon. But they're pretty good at identifying the newer buildings that are in development. Nothing's going to be perfect though. Like Apartments.com, they're a big leader too. They can't be perfect because they have to serve like every market in the United States. So it's like Apartments.com isn't doing it perfectly. Smart's not doing it perfectly. ALN's not doing it perfectly. No one's doing it perfectly. So it's just something that you got to understand. But I am impressed with Smart eventually picking up properties. But it's just something in our industry, and I think it's because our industry is so little known that there just aren't these big player companies that are taking the apartment data as their number one priority. So if I ever find a company that's better than the few that we've tested, then I'll let everyone know. But yeah, so let's see here. And the properties that are in their system have a lot of specials that are not accurate. Yeah, so the specials is sort of the same thing I just went over, Alex. So the weird thing about property specials is that if you look into it like how I did, properties have the ability to literally change the specials like whenever they see fit. Right, so it's a weird gray area, right? Because if a property is doing 1 month free, they can do one. They're supposed to honor the special for everyone, But what's truly happening in the industry is that like, it's like they can do a special for selected units only, and then they can in 1 second cancel the special and then change the units that the special applies to. So it's just a weird gray area. So it's impossible to be 100% accurate with concessions. When the property manager has control of that stuff, right? So I know a lot of I know when we call and we ask about specials and how it works, they'll tell you that it comes from corporate. But it's just not. I mean, out of all the property managers I've dealt with and talked to in 6 years, I just know that's not true. It's like the property managers on site, whoever is managing the property manager on site, they have full control. In like 99% of all cases, they have full control. They don't need to go get corporate's approval. And so, that translates into them doing whatever they want, So, they could do 1 month free or 1 month no rent for a week and then next week change it, or the next 24 hours change it, So you can't. It's hard to really be 100% accurate. So whenever you're using any kind of data, no matter whether it's ALN data, Apartments.com, or Smart apartment data, it's great if you see a special that's on there. Keep in mind that something was going on maybe in the recently, or it might still be going on, but it's never like a fact, right? So whenever you're sending lists over and you want to outline the special, when you send emails over and you're like, hey, these properties might be running specials, like always tell them to confirm with the property. That way you're not making promises to clients that aren't true, just because specials are just such a gray area, especially with like the prices of apartments too. Like, a lot of it is like ran by LRO or YieldStar as far as the pricing dynamics that these properties use to price all of their units based on random factors. So a lot of that is hard to really quote as well. Like prices can change on a daily basis. I know some markets it's different, right? Like if you go try to lease an apartment in a city that's not that hot, well, chances are the specials and the apartment rent, they might not fluctuate as much as super hot cities like Chicago or Austin or Dallas or Houston or Nashville, Tennessee. I see more price fluctuations and specials changing often in very hot markets like Boston, Nashville, Tennessee, a lot in Florida. Florida does that as well. So does Texas. So just keep that in mind, guys. But generally speaking, it's as accurate as it can get. I feel like I'm always calling the properties to check the specials, which takes time. Yeah, so I hear you, Alex. I don't actually do that. Like whenever I go through the guest card with a client and I'm asking them everything they need, like, hey, where do you need to live? Okay, in this part of town, what's your max rent? Okay, how many bedrooms? Okay. You're going through the guest card, and then so once I narrow down what they're looking for, I quickly generate a list of like 10 or 12 options max, right? So everything they want. Of course, I'm going to check the properties that pay high commissions and that might be offering concessions. And so whenever I send that email over to them, I let them know, if a handful of properties are doing a month free, Smart says or something, then in the email I go, hey, you might want to keep your eyes on these three because very recently they were doing 1 month free, your first month on the house or something. So I let them know to keep their eyes on the properties that have concessions going on. But I always in the email tell them, double check with the property directly to verify move-in specials. So I don't ever really call for people. I just send them over a list. I'm very friendly. I make it a point. I like whenever I talk to people, and I know some locators are very like neutral or very monotone when they talk to clients, but for me personally, what helps me close is I make a grand effort to be more friendly than normal, right? So like if I'm not in a good mood, I just won't work, I'll just like not work that day. So whenever I apartment locate, I make a grand effort to be very friendly with people, very clear, like I'm making sure I'm not sick, because a lot of it is like the way your voice sounds. And I'm being very friendly to people. Hey, I'm going to make your apartment search. Awesome. Let's go through the guest card. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. And the clients kind of feel your energy. They feel your positivity. And then, you go through the guest card. You shoot them over the email. Hey, keep your eyes out on these 3 properties. They might be running concessions. Double check with the property. And then that's all I do. I let them know that, I let them know that in my city, appointments are on a first come first served basis. So when clients want me to set appointments for them to go tour, I tell them like, hey, actually in our city, it's first come first served. So there is no appointment setting, right? So like narrow down your top apartment options from the list, and then just go tour whenever you have time. Right? It's like that in Austin, and I know it's like that in other cities as well. So I don't really do anything past sending them a list and then following up and then just making an effort to be friendly, right? So then I follow up with like selfie videos, and 3 days after they get the list, I ask them, hey, can I rework another report for you? What can I do for you, right? I might send another list if they're looking in another area, but that's all the work I'll do. Like I'm not going to actually tour with them, and I'm not going to call and confirm specials when I know they change every 24 hours. I just won't do that. It's a waste of my time and it's a waste of their time. So I just let them know like, hey, check the specials on your own time. And that's it, right? Like that's why the job's easy. And I don't close every single person I work. I don't close 100% of them, right? So I might close 20 to 40%. So every 10 phone calls I get, I'm really trying hard to be really friendly. I'm trying to be likable. I'm trying to be clear and helpful to them, right? And I'm going through the guest card, and I'm working really fast, right? You'll notice the faster you send out the list right after you talk to them, they can tell that you're really on it, and they clients respect that. So I'm just making an effort to work efficiently, but I don't close everyone. So out of 10 conversations that I work, I might close 2 people, I might close 4 people. It's 20 to 40% is my closing ratio, right? But out of those 2 to 4 people that close, I'm probably going to make a couple $1,000s. So that's all I do. Like the clients that are asking you to do all this extra work, like, hey, confirm specials on these 8 apartments for me. I politely tell them like, hey, it doesn't really work that way, because apartments can change their special like every hour if they want to, and it's not against like fair housing, so it's like a huge gray area. So I tell them like, if I tell you the special now, like it could change tomorrow. So I tell those clients as politely as I can, like, hey, like it doesn't really work like that. And if clients ask me me to go with them and escort them to a property, I tell them, hey, actually, like you called a really successful brokerage firm. We actually don't do that. We work remotely exclusively, so that way we can get through all of our clientele and help people in a more efficient way. So I don't, do things that are just a waste of everyone's time, and I really try not to do that. So that's how I work. The main things with apartment locating is just to make a grand effort and being very friendly, because our business is not terribly complicated. Once you have all of your systems in place, you got your CRM going, you're automating that process. You've got your follow-up videos saved. Everything is good. You got text expander set up, so you're working efficiently. Like the job is, after you set all that stuff up, the job isn't hard. It's just like you got to be friendly to people, so that way whenever they go rent an apartment, which takes like a day or two, they're going to remember to write your name down. So that's kind of the whole job, right? The people that are like, do all this extra work for me that doesn't make sense, like escort me to this property, let us come in for an appointment, like none of that stuff makes sense, because it's like, why even come for an appointment? It's like, you have all the apartments that match your criteria, like go tour them, And it's like, if you want, if they want to call me for advice, I'm open to that. If they're, a lot of the times clients call me and they're like, Pierre, thanks for the list. We're really considering this property. It's brand new, and we're really considering this property, but we don't really know which one because we like them both. What would you do? And then you can, as a real estate agent, you can give them advice because you're licensed, right? So you can say, okay, well, I've worked with both properties, and this is what I like about this property. That's what I like about this property, right? So that kind of work, I'm all for doing for clients. I'm just not going to do stuff like confirming specials that makes absolutely no sense, because in 24 hours it could change, right? And I'm not gonna confirm prices for people either, because my database gives them a great idea of what the price should be, right? And I explain to them that these buildings use pricing dynamics like LRO and YieldStar, so literally on like a 12 to 24 hour basis, prices could change. It's like this in Austin, right? So I just don't do that, right? And then if I tell them that politely and my clients take it the wrong way, well, I just know I wasn't going to close them anyways. So then I focus on the next person, and then I end up closing 2 to 4 people out of 10 clients that I work, and that's just how the business goes. All right, moving forward, I know I kind of elaborated on that a lot. It's super clear. What comes to mind for okay? I hope that answers your question. Does it matter what computer I use if I have a virtual machine? No, not really, man. Virtual machines can run off like Linux or Windows. I like Windows just because I'm just comfortable with that. But no, it doesn't matter, man. You can have a really weak computer processor too, like an Intel Core 2 Duo, which is like a step below Intel i3 processor, will run it just fine. You need like 3 gigabytes of RAM. You don't even need 4 or 8 gigs of RAM for a virtual machine, for if you're talking about the Craigslist auto poster that I walk you through in the program. So yeah, you're good, Tony. It's just annoying to set up a virtual machine, and they're like $10 or $20 a month, but you can get it done, and it's much cleaner that way too, because if you have your marketing and your auto poster, etc., on a separate virtual machine, it's just nice, because like now, when your computer turns off, you're never not marketing, right? Because a virtual machine is like a computer in the cloud that always stays on no matter what. So yeah, it's a great idea to set that up. Cool. Host wins, and it was a few errors. And okay, so I got mine up and running using host wins. Oh, that's cool, man. How? What's your experience like with host wins? I've never really used that company. It has fewer errors than just using it like I was before. That's awesome, man. You just dropped some knowledge on us, Tony. Virtual machines for CLA poster. Yep. I'll check out host wins for sure. Cool. It looks like let me get out of here. Boom. Cool. It looks like a shower fitting in your background. Looks great. Yeah, this is like freaking a sticker. It's like vinyl. Isn't that funny? Like a lot of my friends and family, they were like, "Dude, where are you?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm in the same place." It's just like a $20 sticker from Amazon. I thought that was funny. Anyways, I can't get ManyChat for my iPhone. I can't get ManyChat for my iPhone. Yeah, no, there's an app. There's a ManyChat app for your iPhone to monitor things. But typically, Alex, I monitor ManyChat, and I send broadcasts, and I build my flows, etc., on a desktop or a laptop. So use a computer for all of your important systems like ManyChat or your CRM. I would just use a laptop for that kind of stuff. I think it's only for Android. Is there anything you recommend that's similar to ManyChat for iPhone users? Honestly, brother, ManyChat's just like best in class, dude. I mean, ManyChat's the best, you know? Like that's like if you were asking me if there's something better than Active Campaign and I like recommended Mailchimp, like Active Campaign's better, you know? So nothing's better than ManyChat. That's just like a fact. But let me see. I thought I had it. Let me pull up. This is my iPhone X. Let me see if I can show you the app. I thought I had ManyChat on here. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, look, this is an iPhone X. Do you see ManyChat right there? That's ManyChat. So yeah, you can use an iPhone X for ManyChat, no doubt. I have it right there. But like I said, these apps for your phone, it's really just for a quick overview, right? I set everything up on a desktop. I can't get ManyChat for iPhone. Awesome. Let's see, Ron Yates. Hey, Pierre. Yo, what's up, Ron Yates? One of my paid students. Boom. Awesome, Adrian Brown. I'm really working to get more leads. That's awesome, man. Business has picked up. Getting overwhelmed at times. Yo, that's awesome. However, I am blessed to get it. Thanks for everyone giving feedback. Yeah, you're welcome, Adrian. I think I've built a really awesome community of real estate duck hunters. Like Tony just dropped some knowledge on us. Host wins. Check that out for virtual machines. And so everyone always drops knowledge here. I think we've built an awesome community together. Let's see, having a lot of broken lease and eviction clients. Yeah, that's just part of the business. Hard to help clients. They get challenging. So Adrian, in the city, in the market I work the most, which is Austin, right? I know I'm licensed in Denver and I do some business there, but my main market is Austin. Um, in Austin, there's just a handful of apartments that truly accept a broken lease or an eviction, right? I know like three of them in the north side and like three down south that will actually accept it, and the approval rate is pretty good. So my advice to you is identify three or so properties, like not that many, like three, that actually will accept a broken lease for real, right? Because you know how Remington House in Austin, like they say they accept broken leases, but then you refer clients over there and they're like so picky and everyone always gets denied anyways, so they don't really accept broken leases. So I avoid properties like that, right? Like nothing against Remington House in Northeast Austin. That's just how they do business. So I take like two or three properties that I know that will actually accept them. For the longest time in Austin, it was like Parkside Crossing and Wells Branch, like accepted everyone, right? So identify the couple properties in your market that will really work. And whenever you get broken lease clients or eviction clients, I straight up tell them, hey, you got three options. Like, do you want to really get approved? Well, go to these three. And so then I send them three options and that's it, And then if they want more options, I'll just refer them to an agent that specializes in that, right? So also identify agents in your firm or in another firm. Just call up another firm and ask for their criminal and background issue specialist, right? Get their contact number and just refer them out, right? Because those agents will close them and they'll do the extra work to close those problematic clients, and then you'll still get a referral fee, whatever is legal in your market within your real estate commission, right? So identify those coworkers that will deal with that, and then identify like two or three properties that will really accept issue clients, and then that's all I do, right? So if I get a client that has a broken lease, I go, great, yeah, I'd love to help you. Go to these three places, and that's it, right? And honestly, sometimes I lease them, and they go there and it works. But if that's not working for you or the client wants more options, then I'll just refer them out and I'll go, you know what, just work with this agent. He's going to be a much better resource for you than I will. And I think you're going to have a good time. And that's it. And then I just refer them over, and then I don't deal with problematic clients. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Thanks for everyone giving feedback. Having a lot of broken lease. Okay. South Florida. Oh, cool. Yeah, Alex, you're in South Florida. Alex, I was born in Jacksonville, Florida. I think that's really cool that you work there. Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Awesome, man. Yeah, Miami's hot, man. That's a hot market. It's also hot in temperature. Adrian Brown. That's home for me, Alex. Sweet. All right, so Adrian Brown, running into some subleasing people. I don't even work subleasing. I'm not interested. Do you think that will grow? What do you mean by that will grow? Subleasing to people who have bad leasing history? Oh no, that'll never grow. No, we're not going to get. Most apartments won't even pay you for subleasing, and then the very few that ever do don't pay much, and it's always problematic. Um, like they don't pay much because like their tenant just canceled the contract, so like, it's very unlikely for a building to pay you for a sublease. And then during those situations, now you've got to arrange payment. If the building's not going to pay you, which in my experience they never do, then you have to arrange payment between the clients, right? The actual parties, the person subleasing their apartment, and then the new tenant. And like someone's got to pay you, and it's always weird. And it's just not. I mean, why would it's like for me? I just won't do that. So the two things I don't like working. Well, the three clients I don't like working are problematic clients with like credit issues or criminal. I'll give you three options, and if you won't close, I'm gonna refer you and not ever deal with that. Right? That's the first kind of problem clients I don't like dealing with. The second one is young people. Right? Like. I know I'm kind of around that age too, but kids that are 18, 19, 20 years old, even up to 21 years old, if they want help finding an apartment, I'll just refer them out because it's always a waste of my time in my split tests, right? Nothing against young people. I mean, I'm around that age, but I just don't like dealing with them, right? Like my ideal client is like a 40, 50-year-old adult that needs an apartment or 30, 40-year-old adult, just an adult that needs an apartment and then that's not going to waste time. And then I help them and then they lease. That's like my ideal client. So I don't like working with kids, because their plans always change. It's like first they had a roommate, then the roommate bailed, then they're gonna decide to live back with mom anyways. It's just like always such a waste of everyone's time. So I don't like dealing with that. And then subleasing. The third type is subleasing. When people call me and they are asking for subleasing, I just won't work it. I'll just refer them to someone else, or I just won't work it in general because I would just market some more. I would rather market some more or wait until my marketing brings me new leads. And someone's going to call me and they're going to go, hey, I'm an executive, I'm moving here for work, I just need to move close to my job, can you help me? And I'm going to go, sure, sir, here are a few options, and I'm going to make $1,000, right? So I'll just wait for a better client instead of dealing with that, because the biggest problem that apartment locators have that I've noticed in my 6-year career, right, and everyone will agree, every apartment locator will agree, right? So what we'll do is 1 week marketing won't be going as good, let's say, right? So marketing won't be going that good, and you'll only get a few calls, and it's like out of the couple calls, they're all unqualified. And so what we do as apartment locators, right, is we want to work with someone every day. So we work with that unqualified person, let's say, right? Or that client that's not ideal because nothing else is going on for that day. But the problem is that client is going to waste so much of your time and be picky, right? I've split tested that less qualified credit issue or background issue clients are always pickier, right? It's like not an opinion, it's a fact because I've split tested it over 6 years, right? Because this was a big frustration for me, okay? So I would work with unqualified leads, right? I would work with unqualified people, and the amount of time wasting and extra work that these people want you to do for no reason because they're not going to close anyways. It's like weeks of like these people asking you to do more work, more special confirmation, more prices, more touring, more appointment, right? You're going to spend all your time working on that client, escorting them, talking to them, and what's going to happen is you're going to miss the call or miss that time window where you could instead work with a qualified client and actually make $1,000 in a day or two. So every single apartment locator, like I don't care how good you are, we've all done this, right? Myself as well. Every top producer has done this. But the difference between the top producers is that we test these things and then we make a conclusion, right? We're not like doing the same like behavior over and over again, right? So when I tested it, what I did is instead of working with unqualified people or problematic clients or with credit issues, I instead avoided them and then just got no business for that day if they were only unqualified. But then what I realized is that very soon afterwards, a qualified lead came in, and it would take me a day or two, and I would make $1,000. So that's how you work better, right? And so that's what you should be doing. So never feel desperate. Like if you don't get any good leads for one day, don't feel desperate that like you need to work with an unqualified person, right? Because you need to be doing something, right? It's actually smarter to wait and not do anything and just wait for qualified people to come in. That's my opinion on that. The other thing is like the stress, like if you deal with unqualified clients and problematic clients, you're going to work harder and it's going to bring more stress in your life. I'm not interested in that, and so just don't do that, right? And so if just definitely don't do that. It took me years to find that out. But when I avoided problematic clients and just waited and did nothing until a qualified client came, I ended up making more money, and I would work less. So that's a big thing that took me a couple years to find out. Let's see here. Running into some subleasing people, do you think they will grow? No, subleasing. I also don't like rental homes. That's a waste of time as well. Some agents like it though, because then you build a relationship with them, even though the average commission's like 30% on a rental home, which is nothing. But some agents like that because it's like you're building the relationship, and then maybe you'll be their realtor later. So I understand that aspect, but I just don't like rental houses either. Let's see here. Awesome, Adrian. What city? I'm from Miami. I live in Houston. Oh, really cool. Thanks, Tony. Okay, awesome. Best tips for closing clients, David Flores. Yeah, man. The best tips for closing clients is just doing like you're having a bulletproof follow-up system. That's what it is, right? The majority of it is Trello, right? I mean, that's just the truth. So, like, set Trello up. Really go through the course, but set Trello up, have follow-up systems in place, and as our business as apartment locators, it's not terribly complicated. Like people call you, they want an apartment, you go through a guest card, it takes you less than 10 minutes, you email them a list, and that's it. That's all the work. So how do you increase your closing ratio? It's all through follow-up. That's the answer to that. It's all through follow-up, right? So for my follow-up protocol that I teach is 3 days after you send the list, in the morning at 9 a.m. because the first hour or two of work, most employees in America don't do anything. They're on social media. So I contact them at 9 a.m. and then after 5 p.m., really like 6 p.m. when they're off of work. So I contact them twice in one day via email, phone, and text for up to 3 days. And that's what's so cool about our business, right? In other sales jobs, like have you guys ever dealt with like Yelp salespeople? Like they've called me for months. It's crazy, right? But anyways, though, so with our business, leasing an apartment, when someone needs to lease an apartment, it's not like a grand, they're not like designing their apartment and building it like it's a home purchase, or they're not really that invested in it because they don't own it. Okay, so when a qualified adult wants an apartment, they're gonna want to go rent an apartment as soon as possible, right? So a lot of the clients I get are just adults that like they need an apartment close to work or something, right? And so that's it. So if you can't close them the same day, I close sometimes multiple people in one day within the same work day. We go and put in an application together, right, over the phone. So if you can't close them in that day, then you'll close them for the next 3 days. If you can't close them within the 3 days post meeting them and sending the list and everything, then you're probably not going to close them in general, is what I've tested in my split tests, right? So I just teach 3 days of follow-up. And if you can't close them there, just stop wasting everyone's time and your time, right? And then move on to the other client. But always keep in mind that like my closing ratio is about 20 to 40%. So you will work people that won't close, right? But if you have 10 leads a day and 2 of them close or 4 of them close, that could be a couple $1,000s, right? So the most important part about how to really close people more effectively with apartment locating is your follow-up protocols, and just trying to automate all of your systems so that way you can just work more of a bulk of clients. Okay, so that's why I teach like working remote is better than working in office and escorting people. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's see. Okay, awesome. Best tips for closing clients. When I run Craigslist, Auto Poster, Facebook Marketplace, and rent links, you think you're dropping all the secrets, bro. You're dropping all the secrets from the course. Okay, Facebook Marketplace and rent links. You think 10 calls leads a day Okay, so if you ran a Craigslist auto poster and then you do what I'm telling you for Facebook Marketplace and then you set up rent links the way I show you, you think 10 calls leads a day or what's the oh 100%. You could get 10 calls a day for you and other people just by doing that. Leads a day or what's the average you would say in your experience? I like saying 10 a day just because it's like realistic. Like I'll tell you 10 a day and then you'll actually hit the number, right? So like I've seen a business with one how do I explain this? So I've seen brokerage firms with just the Craigslist auto poster, nothing else. They didn't know about Facebook ads, Google ads, sales funnels. They don't know about ManyChat. Nothing that I teach in the course. This brokerage firm was utilizing. They just knew about the Craigslist auto poster, and with that tool alone, they managed to serve themselves, the broker, and 10 other agents around 5 to 10 calls every single day for the 10 agents and the broker off of just the Craigslist auto poster. So if you've got a Craigslist auto poster set up the way I walk you through for yourself on top of Marketplace and Rent Links and all these other platforms that I teach you, yeah, you're going to hit 10 calls a day. Or not. If you're not doing 10 calls a day, then your auto poster is broken. Like that's just what it comes down to. I like to under promise and then over deliver. So that way when you go through the program and you set everything up, you're like, "Oh, Pierre said 10 ads a day," and then you get more than 10 ads a day. So now you feel even more satisfied. That's like my whole thing. Okay, awesome. Best tips for closing clients. Okay, let's continue. You got this down to a science, man. Oh, I love it. Thanks, brother. Yeah, I just been I mean, when you do something for 6 years, Alex, it's like, you just are forced to test things and try to incrementally become better. Yes, I've tell that what are you saying here? Yes, I felt that way. Having unqualified people I've worked with are very picky. Awesome. So you agree, and they don't close in the end. Exactly. I'm not going to be desperate anymore. Thank you for that good advice, brother. Yeah, you're welcome, man. And it's really tough, Alex. It's really hard because I know when the calls don't come in, you're like, crap, I gotta freaking work with someone. I don't want to just like go show up to work for 8 hours and like not do anything all day. So it's like within us to want to just help and just work with someone, even if they're unqualified, right? But I promise you, over the years, I've split tested it, right? Instead of wasting your time with an unqualified person that's going to ask you to do more work and unreasonable work, like let's set an appointment, like that does nothing. So instead of doing all of that, just don't do anything, and then just take the day off, just don't work, or focus on improving your marketing and your traffic to your sales funnel, basically, right? So you could just focus. I would rather focus on my marketing and make new ads, test new ad creatives on the downtime, and never work with unqualified people. That's what I do currently. So yeah, I know it's very hard, Alex, but just take my advice because it took me probably 2 full years to finally just be like, okay, I got to stop dealing with unqualified people that are wasting my time, and I got to start doing things differently. So, don't learn the hard way. Just listen to what I'm saying. Yes, I felt, okay, thanks for being 100% real. Oh, you're welcome, brother. Yeah, I hope I'm not being too intense, but sometimes you gotta. What I've learned in life is like sometimes you gotta really be intense and like drive the point home, down people's throats for them to really like listen to you, right? Because if I sat here and I'm like, hey guys, like, the Craigslist auto poster is a really cool tool. You should look into it. And ManyChat's really cool. Like, you're not going to care about the value. But if I'm like, guys, the Craigslist auto poster is the #1 organic method to generate leads as an apartment locator. And if you're not using it, you're a fool. Now you're listening more, right? And it's like, if I'm telling you like ManyChat is a brand new discovery that's never ever been done before, I can actually auto pre-qualify my leads. So when I go to sleep at night and I wake up, I've got 10 new leads and they're all auto pre-qualified, so I don't even have to go through the guest card anymore, all because of ManyChat for $10 a month. Now you're paying attention, right? Instead of me just being like, ManyChat's cool, look into it. So I'm trying to really drive the point home for a lot of my audience, so that way you guys can take action and then actually get in on this apartment locating money that I've been talking about this whole time. Hey bro, do you favor Craigslist over Zumper? Yeah, I don't even use Zumper, bro. When posting or any other websites, which one have you had more success with? I mean, Craigslist, brother. But use them both. I mean, if you can afford it, set up Zumper. I love a lot of traffic, so set up Zumper if you want to set that up. and prove me wrong. You know, I don't use Zumper because I'm just good with all of my other marketing tactics. But set up Zumper, set up RentLink, set up everything that everybody else does. Set up Craigslist and see what works better for your business, right? Because if they're all incrementally adding value, and if you've got all these systems set up, then you've got awesome marketing. So you can't go wrong either way. Hey, let's see here. I agree. Awesome, man. I'm glad to see you guys agreeing with some of the points I'm making. Intense duck hunters. Yeah, intense duck hunters. Heck yeah. Like, awesome, guys. So I think I just got all the questions down. But in general, guys, this is such a cool, you know, everyone that's paying attention to me right now, this is such a cool business to get into, right? Like, especially as a beginner or someone who wants to really make it in real estate, right? Because like you guys know, when I first started in real estate, I didn't even know about apartment locating. I wanted to be a realtor and I wanted to sell houses. Right? And so when I did that for 45 days and didn't sell a single person, it was unbelievably frustrated, right? Whoever went through my webinar, like, I tell the little story so you guys understand, but it was so unbelievably frustrating to like work for 45 days very hard and I never sold a home. And so like just this knowing and discovering apartment locating is so cool because it's easier, you know, like there's only 3 life cycle stages. People call you off of free advertisements that you post. They want an apartment, so you go through their criteria, you send them over an email. That's the second stage. And then the third life cycle stage is just follow up, right? You just call people twice a day. Hey, what's up? You need any more help finding an apartment? No, you don't? Well, remember to write my name down. That's it. Like, that's the whole job, right? So it's cool because it's easier, right? Like it's easier than real estate investment. You know, it's easier than flipping homes. It's easier than a vacation rental business operating that. It's easier than being a realtor. And it's just so cool that being an apartment locator is an easy way to actually start generating some real commissions, right? But the second cool thing is that even though you can make a lot of money with apartment locating in itself, the second cool thing is that you can actually build a very, very fast clientele super quick, right? Because think about it. If the average locator leases 8 to 10 or 12 clients a month, I've done over 30 before, but if that's the average, let's say 10 then. So 10 clients a month. In 12 months, that's 120 clients, right? You know how hard it is? So 120 clients is a lot, especially at the end of the year. And if you just convert like 1 to 5% of them and become their realtor, because now they know you and you're relevant to them, right? You're not cold calling to get their business. It's like, oh, this is the agent that leased me my apartment. Sure, I'll work with them again, right? So you understand it's easier to become the realtor when you lease these people an apartment first. So it's just so incredible because, you know, those are the numbers, right? Like, just do the numbers yourself, right? You don't have to trust me on this, but if you're leasing 10 clients an apartment a month, 10 times 12 months in a year is 120 clients. If you convert just 5% of them that next year now they want to buy a house because they just did a year inside of their contract, you know, what's 5% of 120? What is that, 6? So 6 people that it's very easy to become their realtor. So now you might have 6 home sales with no extra marketing. It's just like from your old apartment locating marketing, right? So now you can make the transition and become a realtor if that's what you want to do in a seamless way. So that's why I'm really, really excited about apartment locating. And thank you guys so much for joining me on here as well. The last thing I want to say, guys, is, okay, so we've been on for 45 minutes exactly. That's a pretty good amount of time. So I have an unbelievably very busy month ahead of me this month in June. So I think I'm going to do the live Q&As on the twice a month just for June, and we might have to just revisit that. But just for June, we're going to do live Q&As twice a month. I think on the 15th. On the 15th and on the 30th. Let's do that. Those are clean numbers. So on the 15th or the last day of the month, we'll do the live Q&As again. And so I hope this kind of added some value to your guys' lives. And thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate all you guys. None of this would work for me unless I had your attention. So thank you so much. And remember, anyone can send me a direct Facebook message if you're stuck inside of the business. I'd love to give you support and advice for free. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys on the next one. Checking for more questions. All right, guys. Bye-bye.